Hi everybody, old Gary Heydrich here with this week's Chums fishing report out here at the old fishing shack, and we have some pretty good news for you. Some fish being caught. How about out at Truman, down below the dam? Nice crappie, hybrids, white bass. Good report again from Stockton. And I tell you what, over at Table Rock, some nice crappie showing up. So let's get started. Let's go fishing here on Fishing Chums. Let's start out at Table Rock. Had some pretty good reports this past week. It's been a little tough weather, I should say. We know that. But when you can get out, you can pick up some nice fish. I want to start up out at the Kings River arm. We've had some good reports of bass being caught up there, and also some nice crappie. In fact, look at Rusty Arnold here. He was out the other day and picked up these nice crappie in the Kings River Table Rock. Looks pretty good to me. And I've had some reports of some real nice crappie being caught out there and some good bass fishing up there as well. Several reports of rattle traps. You may want to check this out up in the King's Arm of Table Rock. Out on the main lake, we've had some reports of early morning hours. When the sun gets up a little bit, warms up just a hair, you can get out, still some fair topwater fishing. Whopper ploppers have been working, and the big spooks. And we've had some reports, of course, of pop-Rs, but especially if you can find any shad working anywhere, be sure to walk. I tell you, that's when, if you see a little school of shad scooting around, that's when I'd get that pop-R. Try that pop-R out there. And don't overlook, if you had some short strikes, I've had reports of some grub starting to work, like salt and pepper. And also the smoke-colored red flakes been working, either with an 1/8 ounce jig head or a 1/4 ounce jig head. So if you get some bites or swipes, they're not working, pitch that grub out there. That may work for you. And we've had some fair reports of some football jigs working. They've been pulling them off the long gravel points and runs, and also around some of the docks. So Table Rock looks pretty good. Had some pretty good reports of some nice bass caught this week. And look at our old friend Jordan Lear here. He was out the other day, picked up this beautiful Table Rock bass. Good going, Jordan. Boy, that's a nice one. And some good smallmouth, I understand, is being caught at Table Rock as well. Taneycomo, if you want to go trout fishing, in fact, stay around for the whole show because we've got a Taneycomo tip for you. We're going to be giving you on the tip segment, the new tip segment of the program. But they haven't been running a whole lot of water out there the last few days. And so this is when, I talk about it all the time, is when a small jig will work, like a 64th or a 32nd ounce. And if it's a little windy, you want to try something bigger, you might go to a 16th ounce. But I tell you what, my favorite is the 32nd ounce. I work that real good. Seems like the brown in color. Brown's been working good. Cinnamon, of course, a black with a little bit of chartreuse on it. And they've been picking up some fish. Also, they've been picking up some fish by trolling some baits, small crankbaits out there. And of course, when they are running a little bit of water, power eggs have been working. Pink seems to be good this week. Over at Bull Shoals, had some pretty good reports. Topwater in the morning hours. They've been picking up some fish on whopper ploppers. Hey, buzz baits have been working at Bull Shoals, especially with just a little bit of wind. And they've been picking up some fish on spooks, the larger spooks as well. And then throwing jigs, dragging it off to some of the gravel bars and around some of the docks, either 1/4 ounce or 1/2 ounce football jigs. And so try that at Bull Shoals this upcoming weekend. And any windy bank points, secondary points, getting back into the coves, especially if you have that wind, don't overlook spinnerbaits at Bull Shoals. That will catch you some fish as well. A few walleye have been caught this week. Not a whole lot to report on. The windy points, They've been getting out there and using flicker shads, trolling, picking up a fish occasionally, and a jig and night crawler. They don't seem to want the whole night crawler, so go a half a night crawler with a jig, and don't be afraid if you have an overcast day and it's windy to get up shallow on that point, 6, 8, 10 feet of water. If it's going to be a bright day, go on out a little bit deeper, 15, 18, 25 feet of water. Out at Stockton Lake, sure, they've been catching fish out there. Our friends from Tandem Guide Service, they're out about every day, a couple times a day at times. And look at this nice stringer of crappie, a bunch of crappie these old boys caught the other day with Tandem. Beautiful fish, beautiful fish. And that's out at Stockton on the flats. And there have been swimming jigs over some of the brush pile. Sometimes you have to get with a jig and minnow right on top of the brush pile, 10, 12 feet of water. So don't overlook the crappie fishing at Stockton this weekend. And they've been picking up some walleye out there, and the flicker minnow's been working. If you want to do a little slow trolling, don't go too fast. Try to go over those points at Stockton, about 8, 10, 12 feet of water. And then if the sun comes out, back off, just like at Bull Shoals, go with a half a night crawler and just get down there in about 15, 18 to 25 feet of water. So flicker shads are, of course, jigs with a half a night crawler at Stockton this weekend. Okay, let's go over at Truman. Boy, I've had some good reports on Truman. We'll start out below the dam. They've been catching fish below the dam. Some of the boys have been doing good on crappie, and they've been picking up some fish on the Osage Arm, of course, getting down there away from the dam. Picking up some fish and anywhere from 12, 14 feet of water, straight line jigs right off the bottom. Some people have been going jig and minnow combination. Other people have been swimming jigs. And so the crappie fishing below the dam can be good. Check this out. And at the gates there, away from the, I tell you what, they've been picking up some nice hybrids and white bass at times. So be sure to check this out as well at Truman. Out on the main lake, look here, we've got Roger Dale. Lyons was out the other day in the Windsor Creek, up in the Windsor Arm, and he picked up some real nice crappie the other day. So don't overlook the Windsor Arm area, the Windsor area. Might pick yourself up some nice crappie. And they've been picking up some crappie on the flats. They're definitely on the fall pattern right now. And so looks like below the dam and out on the main lake, you should be able to catch some crappie this upcoming weekend. I want to talk about bass just right quick at Table Rock and Stockton. They have been picking up some fish on square-billed crankbaits on the points, and on windy points, go to the spinnerbaits on Truman and Stockton. I don't want to overlook that. Here's a quick report from out at Lake the Ozarks. The bass fishing has been fair this week. They've been picking up some fish on square-billed crankbaits, spinnerbaits. Some people have had some reports of jerkbaits out there already, and they've been picking up some fish on jigs as well. Crappie are in around 10 to 12 feet of water, jig and minnow combination right on top of the brush piles. And let's go to Norfolk on the main man-made brush piles. They've been picking up some nice crappie this week, so check this out at Norfolk. Okay, we're going to give you a quick tip for the week. Hey, you know, if you're going out to Taneycomo this weekend, they're not running much water. I talked about this briefly. I have fished this way for years. I'll use 4-pound tests. Sometimes I even have to go to 2-pound tests with just a small jig, 32nd ounce, sometimes 32nd. I have to go to 64th ounce with 2-pound tests if they're hitting real finicky. But they're not running much water out there right now. And so look at my old buddy, Catfish Rick Ellis here. He shows us how to catch fish. Catfish and I was out one time and they were tough. We had to go to the jig. And here's my tip. A 32nd ounce jig. Now, this is a black with a little bit of chartreuse on it. And see that pink on there? I'll take a power egg, Berkeley power egg, and just pinch off a little tip of it and put it on that hook. So what that's going to do is give it a little bit of traction, but the scent, the smell, will pay off for you on a still tough day. Try that. Thank you, Catfish. Miss you, my friend. Okay, that's about it for the day. I want to thank you for being with us here on Fishing Chums. And I want to tip of the hats to all my Facebook viewers. You know, here at this time of the year, it's slow. And on Fishing Chums on YouTube, we could have only 200 or 300 viewers a week. But our Facebook viewers get to over 1,000, 1,200, 1,400 viewers a week. So the combination, we have around 1,500 of you great people viewing us each week. And be sure to like and share, tell your friends about us, and be sure to subscribe on YouTube. We really appreciate that. And you folks looking at us over, or taking a view at us right now on Facebook, come on over to YouTube and join in all the fun. But we appreciate you Facebook viewers. That's it for the day. Be sure to subscribe. Hey, if you have any photos you want to send us a photo and email us at fishingchums@gmail.com. God bless you all. Get out and get bit this weekend.